It's an excellent opportunity to be here and share room with some of the greatest minds in the region. Following on the topics of digital transformation and agile banking, here to talk about the integration architecture for an adaptive and agile banking, I would like to welcome Saud Al Dhawyani, Chief Technology Officer at Emirates MBD. Saud is a seasoned technology professional and CTO for one of the largest banking groups in the Middle East. Over the last 20 years, Saud's expertise spanned technology, infrastructure, security, software, architecture, cloud, and data. Without any further delays, please welcome with me Saud Al Dhawyani.
Nice. Hello. Good morning again. So I'm going to talk to you a bit about our technology transformation journey. Unfortunately, the time that I have is very limited. I'll try to run through that very fast. So try to keep up, take the key messages as much as possible. However, I'll be more than happy to deep dive at any point in time with you. So just very quickly, a brief about the bank. We, as I mentioned before, we are one of the largest banking group in the Middle East region. We are operating across 7 countries. We have services in the area of retail banking, corporate banking, investment, and Islamic banking as well. And but we are a multinational culture in terms of a bank and employees. Currently as well, we are like approximately 28,000 in terms of employees, thanks to our colleagues in Turkey as well, which was our recent acquisition. Another interesting fact here is our cost-to-income ratio, which is 33.5, which is a very impressive cost-to-income ratio. And we've been very profitable as well as a bank here. So in last year, we completed a major technology transformation program that spanned over a period of 4 years. And that technology transformation program touched 4 key areas. The main challenge, that we faced in this technology transformation program is actually to do everything in a period of 4 years. It is, and for the technologists as well here, for the architects, probably you would understand that touching everything in the same time is a challenge. Imagine everything is moving in the same time. You have got teams across the floor changing things, people changing the wires, racking servers, doing many things across the board is a challenge as well, while running business. So that was a key challenge that we had. And the main driver at that point in time for us is to remain and maintain our leadership position as a leading bank in terms of the digital space. So one area that we have covered is the architecture, where we needed to modernize all our application architecture, move to a next generation application architecture based on microservices, cloud native. We built an integration layer, enables omni-channel services that has been built internally by the bank. We have set up a data platform to consolidate all our data elements and enable advanced analytics use cases. In terms of the agile as well, we needed to look at how we are organized and our operating model. So we looked at the structure, we looked at the operating model, in order to enable the agile way of working, embrace DevOps, and allow us to accelerate while we are changing everything in our architecture and infrastructure. We flipped the organization. At one point in time, the organization was primarily led by managers and project managers. Now the organization, almost 80% of the organization, group IT organization, consists of engineers almost 80% engineers rather than project managers or managers. Okay? In terms of the infrastructure, I'll talk about the accomplishment here. We've been the first in the region to launch a private cloud here, similar to what you see from Microsoft, from Google, or from AWS. It enables a Kubernetes compliant workload to be installed in PaaS. It enables virtualization compliant workload installed in IaaS, and enable DaaS capabilities as well. You cannot do any of that without looking at the cyber security. So we looked at the cyber security from a completely different operating model and a philosophy as well that takes into consideration the security while enabling velocity and customer-friendly services. These are some of the stats and KPIs that we have aligned on before starting our transformation, and this is something very important. You cannot start a massive transformation program without aligning upfront on the KPIs and how you're going to measure your success. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself after 3 years, after 4 years, you don't know. You're going to ask yourself, did I achieve what I wanted to do or not? These were some of the KPIs that we have aligned upfront, and we've managed to meet, and in some cases exceed, some of the KPIs target that we had before the transformation. Okay, so the key to execute a major technology transformation is to have a clear demarcation of all different layers of your architecture. And this is something was very, very, very important for us. Otherwise, if you look at the typical architecture for a bank, it's a very complex architecture, consists of hundreds of or even thousands of applications and IT systems. The complexity even increases with the high level of dependencies that exist between these applications and services. With some of these applications, or actually most of them, are legacy, where you don't have the knowledge or even skills to touch these applications, and you're afraid from touching one of them that we're going to introduce the ripple effect that would break the entire system. So at the bottom here is our Sahab, which is our traditional infrastructure. We called it Sahab, which is it's an Arabic term for cloud. This is our cloud platform, and here you have got all the IT platform capabilities that are exposed via Bawaba, which is our integration layer that enables all the platforms capabilities via standard RESTful APIs and real-time events. Now, all those platform data capabilities are actually exposed via Manara. Manara is our data platform that consolidates all the data elements from all the source systems and all the platforms, and that is in batch and even in real time, enabling all this data use cases for analytics and even business dashboards across various business units. And these are the channels applications. So this is how we organized our architecture at a very high level, which allowed us to tackle the problems at a much more structured manners. So we had a team that is looking after the cloud implementation and Sahab. We had a team that is looking after the data cluster and analytics. We had the team that is looking after the platforms. In fact, two teams, because here we have got the banking platforms, which are like the core banking, treasury systems, trade finance, and etc. Those are the business banking platforms. And also we have got the technology platforms. And here are the more technical platforms, such as your platforms that would enable the basic authentication, platforms which would enable identity services, platforms that would enable collaboration, and etc. We call them technology platforms. All that is exposed via Bawaba, our integration layer, for all the channels here. The channels here represents our all the digital products and digital channels across corporate and retail. Here's a bit of stats as well around the three key artifacts that we built as part of our transformation. Our cloud platform that enables a self-service for all the engineers. So an engineer would be able to go there to a portal, would allow him to self-service and create the virtual machine, or probably provision a container that is enabled by a CI/CD pipeline, which are a toolkit to enable DevOps way of working. And we have got as well infrastructure as a code capabilities. So what we have done, we needed to code all our provisioning, whether it's a container or it's a virtual machine. So the source for these virtual machines and containers is coming from a code repository as well. It's infrastructure as a code. Auto-scaling is enabled. A catalog is there for all the services that are part of the Sahab platform. Then you have got Manara, which I spoke about, which is the next generation data and streaming platform. It has an end-to-end quality and governance known as lineage to trace all the data elements from the ingestion, whether that ingestion via real-time or batch, all the way to the data consumption and enablement for these data services. We have got a data catalog there. We have got a data ops and AI ops pipeline that enables an effective collaboration and automation for the engineers that are working on the data platform. And also, we have done something very interesting, is actually exposing some of the data platform capabilities via APIs. So we have got RESTful APIs that are on top of our data platform, exposes some of the data capabilities. For example, if you would like to aggregate data sets from multiple applications, if you would like to aggregate and then perform certain analytics, if you would like to deploy an analytics model, you will be able to expose those analytics models via RESTful APIs here. And of course, all those APIs are enabled under our Bawaba, which is the integration layer that we have. So these are Arabic names. Sahab is cloud. Manara is the lighthouse. Bawaba is the gate. These are Arabic names. Okay, so Bawaba as an integration layer, it's a modern integration layer, and actually we have taken a completely different philosophy here. It's not similar to the traditional integration layers that you're going to see. These layers, in addition to enable a standardized access to all the banking services via RESTful APIs and real-time events, those services from APIs and events are organized and categorized based on their own domains. For example, you have got trade finance domain, all the APIs and services that are enabled there. You have got the treasury services. You have got the accounts, the customer, payments, and etc. Everything is organized in its own domain. Second as well, it's built based on microservices and deployed on our Kubernetes. This is something that we built internally with our engineers using Java Spring Boot and Node.js as well for some of these APIs. And also we have used that layer in order to technically and even in some cases functionally bridge some of the gaps that you may identify while integrating a consumer to the backend system. So typically, when a consumer app would like to consume a core banking capabilities, there might be some of the, let's say, sometimes security gaps in terms of how do you authenticate or how do you authorize a specific access and etc. So some of these, instead of going and customizing the core banking, and that would lead into another problem by itself, we bridge such a technical gap at that integration layer, and the same thing as well for some of the functionalities also. So today, 96 of our workload across Emirates MBD is cloud native. Means that it's either virtualized or in containers. 96%. Now, the remaining 4% are for the legacy applications that they're either going to be die or they're going to be migrated in the course of the coming five months. Also, which is a very impressive number as well. Today, we are running 1.7 thousand Kafka topic that exposes real-time events for the consumers across the enterprise. 1.7 thousand Kafka topic. And also, we are loading and processing 20 million data point that enables our analytics and business insights and dashboards. 20 million. And this is the size of our data cluster. That's what we are processing today. Now, in terms of Bawaba, we have got 3,000 API endpoints. 3,000. And those 3,000 API endpoints, when I say endpoints, so these are would include all the different verbs of an API, from put, post, get, and etc. So that's why you've got 3,000. However, these 3,000 would allow anybody to tap to all the banking functionalities and services, from business banking services or even basic technical services such as identity, authentication, password change, and etc. And also today, this is our stats today, and that's what we process, almost 30 million API call per day across the enterprise. Okay, so what is Bawaba, and why I'm talking about a completely different philosophy and etc. So there are multiple interpretation for an integration architecture, and if you ask multiple architects, every architect is opinionated about a different way of an integration architecture. From our perspective, Bawaba is we looked at the objective and what we would like to accomplish, and then we built what is suitable for us. And we're gonna show you an example for one of the use cases later as well. So the purpose of Bawaba is to enable development speed. I don't know if any of you as well went online and looked at Visa development portal or Google development portal. It's the same. Actually, I have a portal for Bawaba where you go there, you have access to all the APIs, all the real-time events as well there, which would allow you to tap into all the banking capabilities there. And these APIs as well explains to you how do you connect, well-documented, organized with code snippets and clear Swagger definitions as well. So the idea here is to enable development speed, and also that integration layer is highly resilient and available. It's built in Kubernetes in our cloud-native architecture. Auto-scales, and we have seen that as well in real time. Those APIs, they auto-scale horizontally, vertically as well, if required for certain type of APIs. They enable secured integration. We've aligned on a standard framework to authenticate and authorize access to those APIs. Enforce loosely coupling as well whenever you'd like to connect to a backend system. And that is the key thing, actually enabled a massive transformation for us. So we were able to change the core systems. We were being able to change even the consumer apps in the same time, because everybody was hooked up into an elastic Bawaba architecture that enabled such loosely coupling. It provides omni-channel services and capabilities as well. So what you've seen, for example, if a customer approaches the service from one channel, if the customer approaches the service from one channel, would be able to tap to the, whenever he tried to complete the journey from another channel, all the data, the applications can be resumed. Sorry, I think I lost. Can I get a mic, maybe? No, it's just, maybe give me a mic. Yeah. No, the call doesn't. Give me a mic, yeah. That's fine. No, that's fine, just. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, so it enables the loosely coupling that allowed us to change consumers, change service producers as well in the same time, because everybody was grounded to an integration layer that is elastic, scalable, and provide the desired resilience as well. And we talked about the omni-channel capabilities and also enriching the technical and functional gap. now Karim is looking at me because of the time. Okay. So, and this is one of the things that we try to engrave into everybody's mind, from technical group, business group. This is our architecture. This is the architecture that we're talking about. We've been in a conversation before. Yes, how to integrate fintechs with the banks seamlessly and etc. This is something fintechs would understand. You tell fintechs, okay, you know what? I'm going to give you a portal that give you access to all the bank. And that portal will have the security framework in how to access the APIs. We'll have the documentation. We'll have the code snippets. We'll have everything for you. And this is how we enable our fintechs to integrate, and that's what we are using internally in the bank. This is just an example as well. So Bawaba is not only for the internal consumption and usage, it is actually for even the external fintechs, partners, and vendors as well, if required, based on the use cases. This is one of the initiatives that we have deployed on top of Bawaba to enable access for a third party to use Bawaba services. You can see here a video for our portal. This portal is to be enabled for a third-party partner or a fintech. Exactly the same portal capability is enabled for the internal developers. So here you see the stats around the APIs and how those APIs organized in various domains. These are the technical documentations around the APIs. What's the purpose of them, the security framework, and a collaboration forum as well for people in order to collaborate and co-rate. These are just example of the API's technical parameters. And that's what developers and fintechs will be looking for in order to integrate. That would enable developers' velocity. Standards consumed in a simple and an easy way. And actually, even in addition to that, what we are looking at now is to enable even have some SDKs and libraries published there. Karim, if I have only 2 minutes, I will just run through that. So just to share from our perspective, these are some of the key success factors that enabled such a transformation for us. Definitely, you would need executive sponsorship in order to support such a transformation. It's not something that you can run from your desk. It would never happen. You need an executive sponsorship in order to help shaping priorities. Architecture must be in the center because you want to do things right from the beginning. You need to empower the engineers and architects to take the right call and to take the right technical decisions and explain, to be empowered to explain the implications of some of the technical decisions. This is something very important. Identify the right partners. You need to work with the right partner in order to embrace such a transformation. Innovation culture. People should not fear from innovating or having falling short. And these were some of the key learnings as well. I mean, in every journey, if you don't learn anything, that would be for a waste. These are some of the learnings. For example, if we are about to go back again and do this again for another 4 years of a transformation, these are some of the things that we have been focusing on. What is next for us? So the technology transformation enabled us to build the right foundation. And in technology, there is no end for such a journey. It is always a beginning for what is next. And from our perspective now, we had embraced a constant improvement journey that touches the customer journey, touches our customer interaction, and also we started changing as well the role of technology from taking orders into shaping agendas of the business. With this, thank you. I don't know whether we have time.
Thank you, Saud. It's actually interesting, Saud, to see a giant bank like Emirates NBD embracing the new techniques and technology, because it's a very important presentation, and I'm trying to keep the time. We would allow for 1 or 2 quick questions if any of the audience want to ask, because I know it's an important showcase of Emirates NBD. Any questions we have? Okay, we have one in the back, then we'll come to you, please. Can you use the mic, please?
Okay, we'll try to go to the point here. In terms of the initiatives, one was around the developer experience, and then second was around the embracing the agile journey. I mean, people typically within an agile are happier, and this is something that we have assessed and we have seen. I don't have numbers here that measures the correlation with the customer experience, but I mean, industry showed us that there is always a strong correlation between a happy employee and a happy customer.
Yes.
Yes, so this is what we said. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation. I think one question that comes into my mind is how to manage production run and transformation future. Because transformation is like thinking for the future and trying to take your product level or proposition to a different level. But you need to also support your clients on a daily basis. What were the challenges like and how did you manage that?
That's really a very interesting question, because giant banks like Emirates NBD, like you have a day-to-day transactions and operation and safety from a technology, and how you can shift that great big ship towards the agile and the transformation direction. So,
Yeah.
sorry.
In short, we did not go down the route of having a greenfield, brownfield, and legacy and new and etc. We've taken a different approach here. We've used Bawaba, the integration layer that you have seen, in order to enable such a seamless transition. And always we had teams that are looking at the existing services, and another team that helps in building the new services, while having Bawaba there as our integration layer to help us transitioning slowly in a controlled and safe manner from the legacy services to the new services. And this is not something that has been done only for payment. It has been done for payment, for treasury, trade finance, and many other services over the 4 years.
Great. Last question, please. The mic. Where's the mic? Yeah. Okay. Last 2 questions. Okay, please go ahead.
That's through. It's a good question. I mean, my response to that is actually this is through the partnership that I have discussed during the panel. So we have a dedicated team that is looking after the partnership and looking outside, help us actually to remain relevant, be always aligned, and be even ahead. In some of the cases, actually, we've been even co-creating and co-shaping some of the agendas and initiatives with the regulators, with the industry partners, even with the government and ministries. If we are not out there, this agenda gonna be imposed on you. So we're trying to be there ahead of the game and co-create as much as possible.
Very quickly.
You have given a couple of key points that have led to the success of your digital transformation. I just want to ask how important it was for Emirates NBT when it comes to the training for internal staff as well as the external customers. Because they need digital transformation to succeed. Whatever that has been shown on the screen, that is absolutely important, no doubt about that. But what I felt is training is actually the another core important area that any organization has to focus. I was quite surprised I didn't see it there, but I thought definitely it was covered. So what do you think? I think training is definitely given a top priority.
Yeah, it was in the key learning slide. It's something that if I go back again, I would invest more on training. I mean, we've done a bit of that, but I would invest even more, double down the investment on training and make sure that this is not done once. I think what we have done, we've just done it once and then we thought that people got it. It's something that must be done continuously. It's an ongoing journey, and that's what I think while we have done something there, I think we can always do more, and that's what I will do again.
Great. Thank you, Saud. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Saud.
Thank you.